Welcome back to the Authentic Human Podcast, where we explore consciousness, creation, existence, and evolution from inside by having conversations with universal beings to access the truth of our origins so that we can understand who we are and why we exist, so we can actually begin to start fulfilling our potential and our mission here on Earth. So today is part 98 of the story of creation, and we're just going to see what universal beings show up to share information with us. So, okay, let me shift from thinking brain to feeling all the beings and energy and universal communication. So, uh, Jesus is here again. Um, there's a lot of angels, but I'm seeing it's interesting because they're second stream angelic. So these are second stream angelics are the angelics who hold space in the universe for experience. Okay. And so what they're showing me is we're going to be talking more about um, the consciousness in human bodies and how we communicate naturally with existence. This is what we're going to be talking about today because most humans have forgotten our innate sense of communication with the universe. Okay. And it's really, really interesting. And it's also important to understand that humans are biologically created. And so what they mean by biologically is the aspects, the physical aspects of representation, of universal representation. So the minerals and the gases and all of those aspects of existence that the first stream of angelics used to create human cells and human organisms, that these are programmed to communicate with existence as well. And this is where there's a big divide, if you will, because science has discovered this in a variety of animal species. Okay. If you look at the red fox, for example, and how the red fox hunts, and it uses really the magnetic waves that come off the earth in order to hunt. But it's also using magnetic waves in order to understand its surroundings, in order to orient itself with its surroundings, in order to know who else is traveling in its space. So it also understands that any threat is going to be communicated through this magnetic force. And this is really important because humans were created the exact same way. So all of these people who do similar work to what I do in the sense of communication, that's how we're communicating. We're communicating when psychics talk about, talking with spirit, you're talking with vibrations, okay? And this is what I want to be really clear about. So getting very warm, so bear with me here. As soon as the energy goes up and there's lots, I get very, very warm. So ultimately, what they want you to understand, okay, is we are energy first, okay? And every human has their own unique frequency and vibration, which is based on the frequency and vibration of your soul. Now, I say based on because you've taken it and you've explored your physical life and you've made your frequency and vibration do different things. Okay. You've shaped it into what you want it to become and what you want to experience, but also understanding that you're shaping it into the frequency and vibration that you're putting out into the world. Okay. This is going to be a lot. And I'm going to try to use the simplest language so it doesn't sound overly technical, because there's a lot of pieces in this puzzle that they're going to be talking about today. So when you understand the concept of that, the fact that you are the foundation of who you are is energy. Okay. And so these molecules, these different gases and minerals and all of these parts of your cells, okay, are their own energies and they have their own frequency and vibration. And so what happened is when the angelics and the creator together, because the first stream angelics and the creator are the ones who created human existence. It is in a past story of creation episode, and I can link it in the comments below. But what I want you to understand here and what they're sharing is you're the culmination of billions and potentially trillions, depending on how you exist. And this is where we're going to be going moving forward, right? Because this information is the exact information we need to understand in order to create the future of human existence based on universal truth. Okay? Because it's not right now. Because this information is hidden and it doesn't exist in the mainstream. And yet there's a lot of people who have access to it, but they're keeping it hidden strategically. And they're making you think that this information isn't important, it isn't valuable, it isn't real, right? They're making you think that your ability to receive information universally is hocus pocus or whatever they're trying to make it sound like. It's not real. Why would they do that? Because they can control you when you don't understand who you are. And we keep coming back to that same concept over and over again. So what happens during the creation process, okay, of human existence? And this is, they're showing me right now, it's multiplied when humans reproduce. So it's the cells are pre-programmed to ensure that every human in existence is going to, it's not form or create, it's vibrate is the word they're using. So it ensures that every human that is brought into existence is going to hold the key fundamentals in their vibration of existence. Okay. So these are the key fundamentals that ensure your body has skin, right? You have organs, you have bones rather than no bones. So these aspects come together to create the physical form, but it's also understanding that okay, bear with me here, because as a soul, okay, you choose the physical body you're coming into. And you choose most often, okay? So there's a lot that happened right at the, in the nick of time, so to speak. Time doesn't really exist, but that's what they're saying. It's okay. But it's understanding that most have chosen their future existence, most souls choose their future existence in this particular life long before they come into it. Okay. So you've made agreements, choices, conversations, decisions with the souls of the people that you're coming into life to exchange experiences with. Okay. You've had these conversations long, long before. And so it's understanding that when you set the intention, okay, this is again goes back to the fundamental basics of universal existence. Intention becomes energy, becomes experience, right? It's the same formula, if you will, that the creator used to create the universe. It's the same formula that every universal being has used to create Earth and universes and planets and solar systems and all of these things, okay? Every aspect of existence uses that formula. And so when you, as a soul, set your intention to come into a particular life, Okay. And then you choose your parents. That intention, okay, is now being infused into your body as well during the gestation period. And it goes on, well, throughout your whole life, really. But it's understanding that they want you to know and understand more than anything today that you are so much more than just the physical ramifications of what you see every single day when you look in the mirror. Okay. And it's also understanding that if you want to change something about your life, about what you see in the mirror, about any aspect of your experience, because there's not enough joy, you have to start in the energy. You have to start with an intention that creates the opportunity for your cells to begin to vibrate at a different frequency and vibration. This is the key, the secret, the whatever it is to changing the course of human existence. It's understanding that every single thing you do is founded in your intentions. Every experience you have founded in your intentions. And so we're walking a path currently as a human race where we're being shown as many opportunities for us to collect evidence. They're being very specific with their words, to collect evidence that you're meant for more. What does that look like in the real world? How does that unfold for you? It's beginning to notice what catches your attention on a day-to-day basis. What you find yourself saying, I wish I had this experience instead of this one. Wouldn't this be amazing if? Okay. Because here's the thing. For humans who are creating the future of existence, our job, it's steep. There's a steep learning curve right now. Okay. I'm not going to lie. That's what they're showing me. It's like, a cliff and it's a straight drop off. There is no, handholds. There's no spikes. You've got to climb it and you got to figure out how to get up. But it's understanding that it feels that way and it seems that way because you've decided that you're trying to see in the dark. And what they mean by that is you've decided that you don't have access to the origins of your existence, to the origins of human existence, but also the origins of the universe. And when you decide, when you make that kind of decision, okay, when you really believe you don't have access, what happens is you won't receive information when it comes through for you because your soul has never given up on you. It will never give up on you. Your soul also isn't judging you. It's not running around taking stock of everything you've done, going, oh, you should have done this. Oh, no, look at what, oh, you screwed up there. No, no. Your soul is going, okay, look at that. You needed to learn this because that's the choice you made. It's complete acceptance of who you are. Zero judgment. But here's the other part. Your soul knows who you are, why you came here, and what you're capable of. And this piece here, what you're capable of, is the part that you're ignoring. It's the part that humanity has been programmed to ignore. Why? Because if every human was fulfilling their mission here on Earth, they would all be experiencing and exploring what they're capable of. Do you know what that means? That means there would be no government system, no financial system, no religious system, no education system. Why? Because you would know what you need and you would just follow your instincts and fulfill it. Super simple. But you've come to a place in evolution that you have to choose. You have to choose the path you're going to take going forward. Are you going to follow this same system that has brought you time and time again to fear, to resentment, to anger, to not feeling heard, to not feeling understood, and you hiding who you naturally are so you can ensure the rest of the world is comfortable with who you are? Because here's the thing. These universal beings, okay? We have a frequency and vibration that is aligned with universal existence. Why? Because you're a part of universal existence. You're an integral part of universal existence. So if you imagine for a minute that the universe is a giant puzzle, okay? And the frequency and vibration that ensures its success includes the piece that is you. But you keep your piece to the side because you don't think you're valuable enough. So what happens is you're not only hurting yourself, you're not only on the outsides struggling and trying to find where you fit, you're actually holding human existence back from propelling into the future. How does that make sense? Because the universe was created and based on a collective experience. Now, a collective experience does not mean we all do the same thing at the same time, so we're all happy and we're all, no, that's not what it means at all. It means that every individual, unique soul has weight, has value, has an opinion, has perspective that make us all better. Okay? The trick is understanding and being able to navigate between what parts of you that your opinion comes from the system and the infrastructure that was created to ensure humans forget versus your inner understanding, knowledge, and wisdom of the inner workings of universal existence. This is where we're seeing a massive divide right now. Okay. So humans have been taught that it's fascinating when red foxes hunt with geomagnetic, I don't even know what the word is, with the magnetic forces of the earth. Okay. We've been taught that it's fascinating. Oh, but humans could never do that. That's ridiculous. But humans are the ultimate creation. Humans are literally here to propel existence forward, the entire universal existence forward, together with universal beings, our souls and the universal beings that created us. Huh. So it's no coincidence that humans want to travel to space. It's no coincidence that you have dreams and aspirations to potentially fly just with yourself. These aren't coincidences. There's no coincidence that you know that the energy that comes through your body has the power and capacity to help heal another human being or another animal or plants and trees and water. It's no coincidence that you instinctively know that. How is that possible? Because every human organism is programmed to receive, like a satellite, the unique vibrations and frequencies of every other human in existence. Just feel that. Your body, your physical body is programmed, okay? Because remember, your physical body is made up of minerals and, all kinds of different aspects of existence. And each one of them hold their own energy, their own frequency, their own vibration. So your entire body is a mass of frequency and vibration that is designed strategically to communicate with the frequency and vibration of every other human in existence. Okay? This is the basis of existence. This is the basis of creation. When you come back and understand, right, the only law in this universe is free will, and the whole essence of existence is based on intention becomes energy, becomes experience. But the reason the universe was created, the creator created this universe, was so that every being within this universe could explore their own potential. Why? So he created every aspect of existence to come together and support that. Every aspect. That's why there is consciousness, right? Consciousness is literally the record of every aspect of existence ever. Every being, every interaction, every experience, every conversation, everything. Every one of your lives is in there, but every one of all there's, I mean, right now, 8 billion people on the planet, that's less than 2 to 3% of the souls that are in existence. I don't even know the math on that. But the point is, all of those beings, all have contributed to consciousness. That's how massive consciousness is. That's how massive the wisdom of existence is. And it's not complicated. You don't need to walk around knowing all of it because that's not how you were designed. You were designed to understand that the frequency and vibration that you currently are at, so whatever it is that you've experienced, whatever it is that you're curious about, whatever your questions you're asking the universe about, that brings you to a very unique frequency and vibration. So ultimately, it's kind of like hunting because that's what you're hunting for in consciousness. So your vibration and frequency is now speaking to existence. It's speaking to universal beings. It's speaking to consciousness. And so what happens is, remember, consciousness is a collective record. That's important, but it's also important to understand that it's you and your relationship with all the universal beings that help you contribute to consciousness. Okay? Because it's a collaboration. So when your frequency and vibration begins to communicate out what you're wanting to know, what you're curious about, what begins to happen is beings who feel that frequency and vibration, they pick it up. They pick you up. That satellite is now speaking to them because it's a similar vibration and frequency to where they are. right? That's why you experience the people and the experiences and the situations that you do in your life, because the frequency that you're being is what you're attracting. It's magnetic. It's the basics of universal existence. And so, what you're meant to be doing is focusing on honing and tuning your frequency and your vibration. Right. That's what we're meant to be doing right now. Why? Because that determines everything. It determines, right? It's your intention. So this is the energy that you're feeding it. The energy you're feeding your intention with determines whether it goes up or down or inside or out, whether it crashes and burns, or whether it's the most fulfilling experience you've ever had. And your energy that you're feeding it with is entirely based on your frequency and vibration. Your frequency and vibration changes minute to minute, hour to hour, day to day, month to month, year to year. Why? Because it's a reflection of who you are in this moment. That's how they were able to manipulate human existence. Because they were able to control your frequency and vibration. That's the truth. They can't control you. They can't, because you're a universal being. But they can control your frequency and vibration. And what happens, because your frequency and vibration is a result of the experiences you're having. Okay? That's how they can control it. So if they can put you into a box and say, this is the experience you're going to have, you're going to go to school, you're going to go to this church, you're going to, whatever it is, you're going to follow this belief in this medical system and this, financial system over here. All of those beliefs, they weren't structured for society to keep society thriving. They were structured specifically to impact your frequency and vibration. And I need to reiterate this over and over and over again. If you walk away with nothing else from this episode today, they want you to remember, okay, that your energy is your most valuable resource in existence because it determines every experience you have. And you, at your fingertips, are always in control of the frequency and vibration of your energy. So whatever you choose to experience is what's feeding your frequency and vibration. This is how they taught humans to be scared of truth. Our most fundamental aspect of being, truth. Why? Because truth is literally just the information that's in consciousness. So how do you control someone? By telling them, oh, that's not the truth. I have my version of the truth, and there's your version of the truth. And if we can all have our own versions of truth, we can't actually agree that there is one truth. We can't actually raise our frequency and vibration. And then what happens is eventually we reject truth. And that's what happened. And that's why in 2020, the creator decided, he made a huge change in universal existence when he changed the foundation of existence from love, because people did not understand love, they were using it against each other, but he had to bring it back to truth. And what they really want you to understand today, more than anything, again, it's coming back to your frequency and vibration is controllable for you. It's your decisions that determine what you're broadcasting out to the universe, but what you're receiving, what broadcasts you're tuning into and picking up. If you want higher broadcasts, higher vibration, higher frequency, you've got to put out higher vibration, higher frequency. What does that mean? How do you do that? By moving towards truth and accepting truth. Because the only reason you're not in a full state of truth is because there's parts of you that are not yet ready to believe. It's not because you don't have access to truth. It's because you've believed lies that have been strategically told to ensure your frequency and vibration remains controllable. So if you don't believe that your mind and your body has the capacity to communicate with other human beings through energy purely with no voice, then that belief blocks you from truth. If you believe that you can't communicate with universal beings, that belief blocks you from truth. So every time they're trying to communicate with you, because they'll never stop, because you're an integral part of existence, universal existence, not just human existence. So they're never going to stop trying to communicate with you. You're the only one going, oh, well, that may not be real. That may not be right. Oh, and what if I get it wrong? So what? So what if you get it wrong? Do you know how many times I've gotten messages wrong, but they weren't wrong? It was my understanding at the time. And I chose to act on it in spite of my fears, in spite of my discomfort. And you know what happened? My life changed. I raised my frequency and vibration by scaling that cliff, that flat cliff of limestone, 200 feet in the air. I scaled it. Not because I was waiting for everything to be perfect and I didn't want to say anything because I was worried that people were going to judge me. Who cares? Here's the thing. At the end of your life, I want you to imagine for a moment you're at the end of your life. Okay. First, I want to ask you, how old are you? Who's in the room with you? Are they the people that love and respect you now? Do they see you for who you are? And most importantly, are you looking back at your life and thinking, I did everything I wanted to do. I fulfilled my reason for existing. That right there, that feeling, that's what you're cultivating right now. That's why we're here. To literally bring ourselves back to that place where we understand our own existence, where we leave this life and this earth, not from old age, not from disease or trauma. We leave this life as a result of recognition that we came here and we fulfilled every aspect of our curiosity that we created this life for. That's what you're meant to be doing. So if you walk around feeling shame for something you did, something you learned, something you experienced, how are you ever going to explore your full potential? You can't and you won't. So do something today, just one thing today that makes you feel uncomfortable. But you know the universe is speaking to you. Just honor that connection one time. Because when you honor it once, that's the universe smiling from ear to ear, going, you get it. You felt it. You heard it. You're ready for more. The moment you participate is the exact moment that the universe can give you more. So if you're sitting there wondering why something isn't working, it's because you haven't taken that step. And then they're going to give you more information. And then you take another step. And then they give you more information. And then you take another step. That's exactly how existence works. That's how you explore your potential. You don't explore your potential in the way that the education system taught us, where you strategically mark out a plan and you know every step you're going to take and you're going from A to Z. And if you don't get there, you need to shame, everyone's going to shame you and put guilt on you. Okay. That's not how the universe was created. You are meant to have a goal that shifts and moves. Why? Because every single time you're communicating with the universe, which is millions of times per day, you're becoming more. You're remembering more. You're feeling more. And your frequency and vibration is changing. And as your frequency and vibration changes, you become someone else. You become more pure. You become more in alignment with truth. You become more in alignment with universal existence. So your goals and the things you want to experience change and shift as a reflection of who you've become. And it is not appropriate to hold old intentions and old goals that align with who you were, just because you need to please someone else and make sure that they know you can follow through. You're not here to please anybody else. You're here to fulfill your potential. And the people that chose to come on this journey with you, they know who you are. They know what you're capable of, and they chose you for all of that. They didn't choose you because you can lay a good guilt trip or you can feel shame. They didn't choose you because that. They chose you because of what your potential is, and they wanted to witness your unfolding in this life. And if you keep using the people you love as an excuse for not fulfilling the reason that you came into this life and this existence, your frequency and vibration is going to stay small, super small forever. And you're going to be at the end of your life wondering why you didn't do it, why you were too chicken. Because here's the thing. We're all meant for greatness. But greatness has nothing to do with what society has told us greatness is about, right? Standing on a stage, lights, platforms, awards, money, that is not greatness. Greatness is understanding that you contributed to expanding consciousness, that you contributed to the evolution of existence and the evolution of human existence. It's fulfillment. That's that craving. But it's your instincts. When your instincts say, I need to help, I need to participate here. Not help so that you're helping someone else stay the same. It's help because you see that you're in alignment with human existence and universal existence. And the universe has said, here, this is the path you're meant to walk. This is the journey you're meant to take. This is the next step for you. The universe doesn't give you the whole journey. They don't write the whole book for you and say, okay, here's step one, and then step two, and then this is what's going to happen over here. No, no. The universe says, here, this is the next step. Why? Because in that step, you're going to learn. You're going to become more. Your frequency and vibration is going to change. So the step after that will be based on who you became from this one step. Maybe that one step is changing what you eat for breakfast. That's how small it can be. But if your instincts are, that isn't right for my body, I need to make a change. And you do. When you actually take the initiative and make the change, your frequency and vibration has changed. Who are you now as a result? Because that energy is going to start speaking in different languages energetically. So different experiences are going to come in, different people, all the little things. They all count. They all matter. So don't worry about climbing mountains right now. Follow the little messages that you're already getting from the universe and from your soul. And every single day, do it anyways. Do at least one thing every day that you know you're meant to do. Just try it. The worst that'll happen is you're going to learn about yourself and your frequency and vibration is going to expand to include more of universal existence and universal awareness. Give it a shot. Thank you for tuning in. I'm if I'm just I'm loving this journey personally. I'm learning so much about the universe, but I'm also learning so much about what humans need to hear, right? Because the information that's coming through and the way it's coming through is helping me have more compassion and more understanding for the human race. And so I'm hoping that that's also happening for you, that you're hearing the information and it's changing you, but it's also giving you a grander perspective of the human condition right now. And it's not to judge, it's to have more compassion. Compassion has zero judgment, it has full awareness of who you are and what you have the potential to be. And it's holding space for that, right? And that's what my work has done from the beginning. But this story of creation has given me an entirely new level. Anyways, I'd love to hear what this journey has been like for you because we're almost at 100 episodes or 100 parts of the story. And it's fulfilling. It's fulfilling for me, right? Every day when I show up, that's me participating. It's one step. I don't know what they're going to share with me when I get on here with you. I don't know, but I show up anyways. And I'm not worried about it looking stupid. There are definitely moments where it's like, oh, I feel like I've been hit by a truck or I'm a deer in the headlights because it's a lot for me to want to share the best information possible. But I keep showing up and I don't worry if I get it wrong because I know that the universe is going to continue to show up for me because it's going to continue to show up for you. And I don't doubt any of that. And that's why this stream of information is so strong and continuous. Okay. It's possible, guys. And it's possible for every human because that's how we were created. I love you. I thank you for being here. I'll see you next time.